Is sugar really that bad for us? Are natural sugars healthier than refined sugars? Is sugar vegan? Just how much sugar per day is safe? Hey guys, Kritika here with Uncommon RD, and my goal with this channel is to help debunk nutrition misinformation and give you the facts based on research and science. Today we're focusing on a topic that I'm really passionate about because I hear a lot of misinformation around it, and I just think it's so misunderstood. Here's what you'll learn. Exploring if some sugars are healthier than others, how much is too much, and if there's a right time for your body to enjoy a sugary treat. There actually is. Stay tuned for all of that and more coming up right now. So first, cane sugar, it either comes from either sugar cane or beets. What's interesting is that sugar cane can be processed with bone char. So some vegans won't eat sugar cane, but they will eat beet sugar instead. Then we have molasses, which the base of it is this sugar cane or sugar beets. It's a byproduct of the sugar refining process, and some types like blackstrap molasses are actually a really good source of calcium and iron, about 200 milligrams of calcium per tablespoon. That's a lot of calcium. Then we have turbinado sugar. So what this is just dehydrated cane juice. It's what's left over after raw cane sugar has been stripped of its natural molasses and impurities, as well as the vitamins, minerals, and trace elements. Then we have the very popular honey, which is of course coming from the nectar of flowers and made by bees. And what's interesting is that if you get the raw local honey, you might be reaping some benefits such as lactobacillus, which is a good bacteria, as well as some antioxidants. But this won't be found in the bear-shaped honey that you find at the grocery store. Then we have coconut sugar, another really popular sugar right now, made from the coconut sap plant. It's thought to contain some inulin, which is a type of fiber, but in very small amounts. And it's also thought to be lower on the glycemic index and therefore spike our blood sugar a little bit less. We're going to really dive into the glycemic index shortly here, but keep that in mind. Then we have another popular sugar right now called agave, and this comes from the agave plant. Agave is also thought to be lower on the glycemic index. Proponents of agave also say there's a lot of nutrition in it, but let's explore that a little bit. This is also from the USDA Food Nutrient Database, and you'll see agave has very little nutrition in it. The amount of vitamin C, iron, potassium is so small. To put this into context, we need about 8 to 18 milligrams of iron per day, depending on our gender and our unique needs, and 4,500 milligrams of potassium per day. So this provides a very negligible amount. So why are some of these sugars marketed as healthier for us when they have almost the same amount of sugar, plus or minus about 5 grams? The idea may lie in one of 3 myths. Myth number 1, that natural or organic is healthier. What does the word natural even mean when it comes to our food? Here's what the FDA has to say about it. So right now the FDA doesn't have a formal definition of natural, but it looks like this is something that they're working on. It means nothing artificial or synthetic, but note that this doesn't mean that the product is healthier for you or nutritionally superior to products that are not labeled as natural. There's no research that shows that organic foods are nutritionally superior or have more vitamins and minerals. It's simply a farming practice. Also, organic does not mean pesticide-free. As you can see here, there's a list of synthetic substances that are allowed to be used in organic farming. Myth number 2, honey and molasses are better because they have nutrition benefits. If you eat a tablespoon or 2 of honey or molasses every single day just for the health benefits, that sugar can really add up and cause other health issues, which we're going to dive into later in this video. You're better off getting probiotics and antioxidants from other foods, like sauerkraut for the probiotics, or collard greens for calcium, or lentils for iron and lots of fiber, which all have the benefits without the health risks. Myth number 3, it's important to pay attention to the food's glycemic index. Some people say glycemic index is the most important thing to look at when you're looking at a particular food and determining whether it's a healthy choice or not. But I disagree. According to this scale, foods are classified as either low, medium, or high glycemic. But there are some issues with the glycemic index. It doesn't give us an accurate representative picture of what we would typically consume in one sitting and what else we would have with that food. Coconut sugar is a lot less sweet than agave, so would that mean that you would put more coconut sugar in your coffee to get that desired sweet taste? Would you use less agave? GI is based on consuming about 50 grams of carbohydrate. Let's compare carrots to Snickers on the GI scale. 50 grams of carbohydrate of carrots has a GI of 92, so that's considered very high glycemic. 50 grams of Snickers has a GI of 68, therefore that's lower. Does that mean that Snickers is healthier for our blood sugar than carrots? This is in reference to 50 grams, which is about 6 cups of carrots. That's a lot of carrots. I don't know anyone that eats that many carrots in one sitting. Also, there's plenty of fiber in carrots, and your blood sugar really stabilizes when you pair a carbohydrate food or sugar with fiber or protein. But fiber is not accounted for in GI. But based on the issues with GI, we don't want to rely on this method solely to determine whether or not we should choose a particular food. But let's look at this visual to see how sugar is metabolized in our bodies. The food gets digested through our GI tract, or the sugar will. It gets absorbed into our bloodstream, and insulin will still get released from the pancreas to help bring down that blood sugar spike. The problem occurs when we have too much of any of these sugars, which will tire the pancreas out, and eventually the pancreas can get so tired that it's unable to make any more insulin, or it just stops working properly, which increases our risk for type 2 diabetes. Regardless of what sugar you eat, this can happen if you overdo it. So if GI isn't the only thing we should consider, then what else should we consider? I would say the molecular composition of these different sugars. Specifically, let's look at the breakdown of fructose in these sugars and why fructose. Both human and animal studies has shown that concentrated fructose loads may contribute to an increase in our risk for fatty liver disease and insulin resistance. Fructose has also been shown in research to promote an inflammatory response. As you can see, agave has the most fructose. But unfortunately, research is not 100% conclusive on the fructose in foods being the real issue, so we can't say without a shadow of the doubt that it's the fructose that's the problem. You might be thinking, well, what about fruit and vegetables that contain sugar and fructose? Well, research has shown that whole foods that contain fructose actually have the opposite effect. They have a protective effect against cardiovascular disease, also accompanied by fiber, antioxidants, and water. So how much sugar is too much? Do we have recommendations on this? Actually, yes. The World Health Organization has the lowest recommendation, saying that no more than 10% of our calories should come from added sugar. They even say 5% would be sensible. That's not an official recommendation, but let's just take a look at that. Say you're eating about 1,800 calories a day. 5% of that is about 23 grams of added sugar per day. That's about 8 Hershey's Kisses, or 1 Kit Kat bar, or 1 cookie. So what counts as added sugars is sugars that you add to cooking, whether they're natural or not, or sugar that is present and added to processed foods or drinks. Remember, if you identify any of these sugars on the ingredients list, one is not better than the other. Organic isn't better than non-organic. Natural isn't healthier. Also remember, the dose makes the poison. Anything in large amounts can be harmful for us, so just practice moderation, and remember, a little bit of sugar every now and then is not going to kill you. In fact, there is a best time to enjoy your sugary treats, and that will be right after an intense workout. Because at this time, sugar is metabolized a little bit more efficiently and is readily taken up by your muscle cells. Also, your cells are a little bit more sensitive to insulin right after an intense workout. So it might be better for your body to save that sugary treat for right after you finish working out. So what's the most surprising fact that you learned in this video? Comment below. So what about non-nutritive and artificial sweeteners like monk fruit, stevia, Splenda? I'll be making a whole new video coming up on that soon. Subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay tuned for my next video, and please share this video if it was helpful. Also, watch my video on why I went vegan right here. I'll see you guys soon. Bye!